The drama continues. After a tornado warning in Chicago, missed flights, a Pacific crossing in the legendary ANA The Room, and an unwanted night on a waiting bench at the airport in Tokyo, the journey continues on the ANA Dreamliner. Does All Nippon Airways keep its promise as one of the world's best airlines? I'm not quite sure, and I'm already curious to hear your verdict at the end of this report. Let's experience the business class of the ANA Dreamliner from Tokyo to Hong Kong now, part of an accidentally booked trip around the world with miles. And after a maximal horrible night in Tokyo Haneda Airport, welcome on this Boeing 787-8 Dreamliner of ANA, All Nippon Airways. As you can see, this cabin is really old, really more from the antique times of aviation, especially if you had a flight on ANA The Room just the day before, as I had, which is one of the best and most spacious seats of all airlines in business class. Really very stunning. Anyway, let's see how this is gonna be before we take off. Let's first have a look at this seat. And we're taxiing already to the runway. Upon boarding, we got welcomed with actually nothing but hello. There was no welcome drink. I just asked for some water because I was so exhausted. I'm still so exhausted from last night because it was quite horrible, and also the day before was already very exhausting. More about that during the flight. Now I will tell you about that, because that's what you not want to have every time on every trip. Then they have no amenity kit on this flight because it's just 4.5 hours long. However, they do have amenities. They have that in a little basket. You get all the essentials like face mask and sleeping mask and toothbrush and some lotion. So that they have, of course. Then they already had the menu also on the seat or at the seat. There's an option of Western or Japanese cuisine. I opted for the Japanese version. Looking forward to that. And now I think we're gonna take off in a moment. And we left the rainy soup of Tokyo. We're above the clouds now, and no matter, that's a nice thing, no matter what class of service you're in, the view is always great once you have a window seat. Just before we get the service now, before we get something to eat and drink, let me just tell you why I'm on this flight and how the last couple of hours were on this trip, because it was quite outstanding, not in the best way. Actually, I'm up since more than 40 hours already. My whole trip started in Montreal and should bring me to Thailand. Well, this is the third leg of all kinds of legs. The first leg, however, got delayed, so when I arrived in Chicago from Montreal to get into my flight to Tokyo, I saw my flight to Tokyo just take off in the moment when I landed. No kidding, the drama was big. Then I had to wait 8 hours for my alternative flight then to Tokyo, after lots of negotiations, because they had booked me on another alternative that I didn't want to do, because of course I did all this flight only to show you ANA The Room, which also happened after being really very clear and very friendly, but still very clear that I want to be on that flight. So I got to Tokyo Haneda, and then I had to wait overnight for the connection here to Hong Kong. What I did not know is that there's no lounge open in Terminal 2 of Haneda Airport. There's also no airport hotel close by. And I only figured that when it was actually too late to plan something else. Well, rules are rules. Japan is a big rural country. So I ended up on a waiting bench in the airport hall. At least I had the whole hall to myself. There was nobody. So that was again very luxurious. Other than that, it was not at all. I was really lying there on that bench until the ANA lounge opened at 5 in the morning. Then I took a shower, much needed. I rested a little on a decent resting chair. I had some short breakfast and then I went on to this flight. What an incredible trip already. Over 40 hours and I hardly slept in that time. I rested, maybe 2 hours on the flight, 2 hours on my bench, and that was it.
The ANA lounge in Haneda is not as legendary as you often hear, but it's quite interesting and above all, quite different. So here are a few impressions of it.
Looking around this cabin, I'm a little surprised, to be honest, because ANA is supposed to be a 5-star airline and it's always among the top 5. And then I think maybe this cabin was not part of the evaluation. However, there's everything there. At first sight, you wouldn't see the power supply or the USB slots, but they are also there. They're just very discreetly hidden under the monitor screen. So it's all there. So altogether, it's actually a comfortable seat. It's a little on the old side, but there is a lot of legroom for your legs if you want to lie down. There's a lot of space on the sides. I think I will lie down a little later. And everything is clean. It's just a little used. For example, the buttons, for example, here for the windows are a little very used, but they all work. All works. It's just a little older. Altogether, the seat is a little bit like the ones of Emirates in the Airbus A380. The same seat design, the same measurements, and with the exception of the middle seats, because Emirates has always two in the middle. And here you have always one throne seat, one double seat, one throne, one double, but not a throne seat like on, for example, Swiss or Eurowings Discover or Malaysia Airlines on the Airbus A330-300, where it's really very tight for the feet. But here you have still quite ample legroom. So on that side, it's quite good here. There's no storage actually here on the window seats, so there's actually not much. You can only put things here on the shelf, but the shelf is actually very, very big. But then you have a lot of space for your feet, so that's really great too. If you have a middle seat, there's a little storage just between the seats, and the bulkhead seats here in business class are really great. They had a lot of legroom, at least the ones on the window side. A lot of legroom, and then also a huge shelf, because that's the bassinet seats where you're supposed to put your baby. So that's great too. When you fly ANA, the room, so that's the business class of the Boeing 777s of ANA, you're really impressed by the size of the TV screen. It's really incredible. Such a big TV screen and such beautiful picture, really HD, 4K. You have a fantastic external camera view to the front when landing, when taking off. That's really great. You have a fantastic flight show. What you don't have is a great video selection or movie selection, so that's a little mediocre, not horrible, but also not fantastic. I talk about that in the ANA, the room report. But other than that, it's really very impressive. This sheer size of the TV screen. Anyway, here it's not as impressive, but it's still okay. It's an okay size. It's quite a good size monitor. It's just not HD. It's not 4K. It's the last generation, or not the latest, but the one before. And actually it's the same one as you have also in Emirates on the older generation planes, Boeing 777s, Airbus A380s. They have still quite a lot of them flying around with exactly this older generation flight show.
If you like this and the well over 100 flight and travel reports on the two Traversing Flight channels, then please give me a thumbs up, comment on the video and subscribe to the channel with the little bell next to it to make sure that you don't miss out on any of the exciting videos that are released here. You'll help the channel with all its free content to grow and become more visible. Keep looking around Traversing Fly. There's for sure a few more reports that are just the right ones for you. It's so great to have you here.
So, lunch has been served. It's actually 10 a.m., but this is lunchtime already. So, when it comes to the drinks, I was very pragmatic. I just found I need some champagne. It's 10 in the morning, but I've been to so many time zones in the last 2 days, so it's kind of champagne time anyway. So I got some champagne. That was Castelnau champagne and 2 glasses of sparkling water because I really need some liquid. And if you want to see all the sakes and shochus, I presented them on the ANA, the room video. I'm sure it's out already when you watch this report. Then when it comes to the food, we have zenzai. That's a selection of morsels. That's a mugwort sponge cake. Then we have jellied green peas and cheese. We have seared bamboo shoot with sea urchin sauce and simmered octopus in soy-based sauce. So that's really nice, right? And then we have kobachi. That's small tidbits. That's squid and Japanese bay scallop with mustard, vinegar, miso. Then we have shusai. That's the main dish. And in May they have here grilled alfonsino, that's a fish, with butter, burr, miso and some steamed rice. And we have some miso soup, and as dessert there's some chocolate cake. Lunch was great. That's a great thing when you fly a Japanese airline. You're gonna have really delicious Japanese food, as long as you fly in premium cabins, business or first class. Now I just asked if they have maybe some Western cuisine, like some leftovers, so I can show you some Western options, but they didn't. However, she thought that I'm still hungry, which I'm not, so she gave me some other alternatives. So I got some instant porcini soup, super Asian, I know. And then I got some green bread, you see here. It's mugwort bread. I'm actually quite good in English. I'm German, but I think I speak English quite okay for a non-native speaker. I don't know what is mugwort, but I have a feeling it's grass. Survived it. And then they have their very own non-alcoholic signature drink, and that's called kabosu. That's a citrus drink. Let's see. It's on the sweeter side. I'm not Japanese, that's why I say now unknowledgeable or ignorant. It could use some sparkles inside or something more refreshing inside, but now I'm really impressed, and that's a little embarrassing because this porcini soup, instant soup, tastes really very nice. Very unlike what I would just expect in Germany, for example. They really have some porcini mushrooms in there, and it tastes really nice. So it tastes not like something that just was swimming by some porcini aromas that swam by some porcini aromas, but they really have some porcini mushrooms in there, and it tastes good. As embarrassing as that might sound.
Unfortunately, ANA does not have good coffee on board, but you have the option to buy me a cup of coffee and keep me awake during my long nights editing videos. Buymeacoffee.com is your chance to support my work with the amount of a cup of coffee. You can buy me one or more coffees, and you'll find the link right now in the top right of the window and in the video description. It's even easier with a super thank, and you can find that directly under the video. You would make my day, because I really try to keep Traversing Fly as non-commercial as possible, and unfortunately tickets for the report still don't grow on trees. Really, I checked. But now let's check out the bed.
So I rested a little, and this seat is actually really comfortable. It's just not that 1 or a half inch too small or too narrow that you think, why is this so narrow? Why didn't they do this? No, it's just right. So it's really comfortable, and it's also good for the feet. They have enough legroom, there's enough space for the feet. It's really pretty much exactly like in Emirates Airbus A380 business class seats. So that's really nice. And well, I watched a series that I've never seen before. That was nice too. It's not a HD screen, it's not 4K or anything, but you can watch. So it's okay. The headsets are not phenomenal, so they're not noise cancelling. And I tried the first sake of my life that I really enjoyed very much. I just liked very much the label on the bottle. And so they opened one. It was a small bottle, and it's called Harushika Sakura Junmai. Very nice, fruity, flavorful taste, and I'm really happy I tried it. Because now I can say there is a sake that I really love. We are landing in 45 minutes, and we just started our approach into Hong Kong. Now, how was this flight? First of all, what I didn't mention before is actually the feeling of space is very nice on this seat. You have all these windows here. This seat has 2 windows for itself, but then you have also this gap here between the seats and the windows, so that gives a lot of airy feeling. So that's really very nice. You have overhead bins, but still you have a lot of feeling of good space actually here. Then when it comes to the seat itself, it is a little outdated. However, now after this flight, after 4 or 5 hours, I have to say it's so much better than what I thought when I came in. The thing is, I went on ANA The Room just before this flight. I actually connected to this flight from ANA The Room. That's like the most amazing business class suite that's out there at the moment worldwide. You should check out that report. And of course, every other seat can just lose against that, even within the same airline. This seat is a little outdated, but it's very comfortable, it's spacious, and so much better than many seats on many airlines in Europe and United States, for example, North America or South America. So it's still a very good seat. You have a lot of legroom, you have a lot of space here at your shoulders. Then the entertainment system is on a older screen, but still everything works. You can listen to your music, you can watch your movies. The headsets on this very flight are not noise cancelling, but okay, that you just have to know. And then, I mean, the food was really delicious. It was not a super big amount, but it was good for this 4 or 5 hours flight. The same with drinks or beverages. The service was also very nice, very friendly. I would not say it's proactive, but maybe that's a cultural thing. You have to ask for the things that you would like to have, and then they're super happy to bring it to you, and they're excited. Like I said, I really enjoyed the sake, and they're very happy to hear that. So that was really nice to see too. Of course, on a flight of 4 to 5 hours, you can always just fly economy class. It's so much easier, so much cheaper, of course. But this flight was, of course, part of a very long trip from Canada to the United States to Tokyo to Hong Kong, and it's all in business class, so it made total sense, and I'm glad I chose this one. The competition here is actually Japan Airlines and Cathay Pacific on this route, and I mean, they're also very good airlines, so there's advantages one airline has over the other one, and so that's how it is, but they're all quite good airlines. Here we are in Hong Kong, the end of a 40+ hour trip from Montreal to Chicago to Tokyo to Hong Kong. I paid 71,000 miles with Miles and More plus 250 euros in fees. That's about $280 in fees. I explain everything about that in my report about ANA The Room, so make sure to just look at that too. I hope you really enjoyed this report. If yes, give me a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. There's lots of other exciting airline and also destination reports waiting for you, and one of those might be this one over here. Make sure to check it out right now, and see you there at Travel, Sing, Fly.